Let's play! Whoa!
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. You all may call me Pharaoh, and welcome back to Let's Play Raging Loop. Wow, last time we left off, even though we technically won as wolves, thanks to Haru's sacrifice, things got really weird. A giant monster thing appeared and was gonna destroy everything, and then the sheep actually made a main story appearance, and he's like, well, I don't know what the whole thing about looping is, but I gave you your looping memories. And it's like, okay. At this point in the game, we have 5 more keys that we need to obtain, and it's going to just involve going back to various moments of the game to find out more information. The first one, and the one that I'm really intrigued about, is finding out what Chimi's objective was here. Because remember, it's like, oh, you're not just messing around. Get it right. I'm giving you a nice present. Get it wrong and you're dead. Sploosh, sploosh. Now, kind of like, oh, joking, right? But no. And I think it's because it's all of the, like, it literally says all of them. You're desperate. You needed an alibi. You're a thirsty perv. You'd feel guilty if you let me die. I'm not really sure about this one, but with all the information that we know, especially knowing about her, let's see. At that moment, my head was flooded with information. Yep. Basically about all the main paths, all the main endings. It felt like my mind was crushed by a million sheep. Because it kind of was. Crap, why'd I forget? Did my memories carry over in a weird way because the method from back then was weird? Well, then again, this wouldn't be the first time my memories didn't carry over properly. Because I should have counted myself lucky for remembering it all. I had tons of things to think about. About the beast in the village. The giant monster. The dream enveloping Fujiyoshi. As well as the looping the sheep had told me about. But this wasn't the time to worry about that. Huh? Haruwaki-san, what's wrong? This girl. The one time she, fearful of God, faced the wolves with me, and eventually met an awful end in Saranaga. Another time, she was a cold-blooded wolf that silenced one of her own, then, when cornered, tried to kill everyone. And the last time, she interfered with us wolves by, for whatever reason, killing herself on the first day of the feast. Her smile that night had burned into my mind, continuing to torment me. Chimi Sarazawa. Hold on. I knew the reason why she'd done that. It was simple. She'd been dropping hints ever since the very start. They were more like slips of the tongue, small and almost impossible to notice. Hey, you not feeling too good? Do you hate this sort of stuff? Sorry, I guess I got carried away. All of them. Huh? All of the options you named are correct. Yeah, there were wolves here in Fujiyoshi. Yeah, you were a real murderer. And, correct me if I'm wrong, but before I came to Saranaga, you were about to saw off shotgun barrels. Preparing to kill people is something you'd want to hide, so you needed an alibi. Huh? Why? You remember the previous loops. Because remember, like, she started crying here, like, yeah, because, like, I don't think it was just her, too. I could have sworn it was somebody else. But it's like, I had that theory. It's like, is it just us that remembers the loops? But what happens if it's everybody? But if that's the case, I would have thought it would have played out way differently. But either way. That might have been our final favor in this life, so I wanted to make it nice. That was weird. You said you agreed to go on a road trip with me because you were gonna die anyway, but the mist hadn't even shown up yet when I invited you. That means you knew the mist was about to arrive. She lost track of what she was supposed to know and would not know. It happened to me too. You ran away because of trouble with women, right? Yeah, I don't think I ever told her. I thought you figured out that I was dumb just because you were sharp. But you have memories of the previous loops. It's only natural for you to know that I was dumped. I told you that. I told that to you myself. Play with me, hold my hand, take my bike ride. Okay, yeah. That moment that confirmed it was when you came to me as a wolf and told me about your feelings. Back then, I wasn't a bike rider, but a suicidal guy who arrived here through Kamafujiyoshi. You had no reason to think that you could just hitch a bike ride with me. You know the real abnormality isn't the feast, but the looping. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. Yeah, she's pissed. Ah! She suddenly screamed. In her hand, she held a familiar hunting knife. It didn't work. Dropping it all on her so suddenly was too much for her to handle. Though regret dulled my mind, my vision sharpened, I saw her slowly charge at me. I might have been used to death by now, but I didn't want it to be slow and painful. I used the time I was given to just close my eyes. An impact. I collapsed on my back. A sharp pain assaulted me. At least, I thought it was going to. But it didn't. There was just a warm weight against my body. I slowly opened my eyes. Her face was brimming with intense emotion. As her eyes filled with tears, the hand of the knife went limp. The blade fell free. No! No way! There's no way I wasn't the only one. This is just a dream, isn't it? I'm about to wake up and start the feast again, right? Don't give me false hope. Not with his face, at least. This isn't a dream. Well, to be clear, though it might be reduced to a dream eventually, this moment is real right now. And since we share the same memories that dreams give us, the moments we share will never be merely dreams. Haruwaki-san, I don't have any weapons on me right now. I won't strangle you either. I won't do anything at all, so can I cling to you? Yeah. Haruwaki-san! Okay. Oh. That's a new image. Like I said, I wish they had more of these, but it's nice when they have them, period, you know? Even if it's sad. She clung to my chest and wailed. Emotion, tears, none of it was restrained. I was so scared. I was so scared. It was so lonely. I was the only one going back again and again and again and again. I killed and got killed by them so many times, and their deaths, their words, they all just kept piling up. How many loops have you had? I stopped counting after 100. Jeez. I thought I had it rough, but I had like, what, 20-something maybe? If we have like, yeah, because how many endings have we had? Of course, it's like 20 or close to it. So, yeah, it's, oof. It must have been hard. It was! Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not crying properly, but still. As I embraced her, crying without end, I felt something myself as well. This was a hell from which not even death could save you. Wandering through it all alone, one couldn't help feeling frail and helpless. I'd spent most of my time here chasing after the mystery behind it all. As long as I still had ideas to try, the mystery of both my greatest fear and fascination. But what if I ran out of ideas? What if I tried everything I could think of, only to discover there was no escape from this loop and I was a prisoner of it for eternity? My worst fear was a mystery without an answer. As one faced with that very possibility, I could really relate to her. The alcohol must have made her more emotional as well. She was crying unceasingly, and as someone who cared about appearances, I had to hold back from getting emotional myself. It took her almost an hour to calm down. She began talking. I wouldn't have minded if she just went to sleep, but the joy and excitement for finally finding someone who shared her experience probably wouldn't have let her. It was time to check some answers. I'm impressed that you knew. Yeah, I was actually sawing off barrels. In this timeline, I'm an outsider who ended up not participating in a feast. And you didn't have your guns, right? Is that because I interrupted you and made you leave the shotguns in Saranaga? Seriously? You really are a detective, aren't you? So that's what she was looking for that day. Okay. But I still want to know more about that pendant as well. If I wouldn't be relying on theories and assumptions like this, like this. It's an evidence-based profession. That's why I need to ask. Next question. Are you a murderer? No. Not yet. This time, anyway. At least, I hadn't killed anyone before coming back to Yasumizu. But you had 2 guns, right? I just wanted to go hunting with Kanzo-ji-chan. At first, anyway. She continued to talk. It was May of her 3rd year in college. Time to go job hunting. Well, the job market in the state it was, most of the leads she found on work sounded more like horror stories. Some couldn't find a job despite checking 100 places, some went straight to exploitative businesses, and some had all the credit in the world, yet ended up working at the docks or something. Chimi had no particular profession in mind, nor did she find any ideas at our seminars, so she was at a loss. Her situation was made even worse when her boyfriend left her. Huh? Oh, so you're like me. Shut up! He was your second boyfriend, right? Why'd he break up with you? You remember all the details, huh? Anyway, he said that girls with guns creep him out. That might have been weird from a normal man's perspective, but personally, that just intrigued me. How long have you been dating? We got together at the start of Golden Week, and he left me right after it was over. Ouch. Should I just kill you? Anyway, the failed relationships in life in the city in general was starting to get to her, so she started to consider moving back here after graduation. Back to Fujiyoshi, a place that she supposedly hated. I've forgotten most of the bad things after moving away from here. She used job hunting as a pretext to take a short vacation, and she returned here 2 days ago, on Friday. She figured that refreshing her mind and body here would help her with the job search. The locals neither celebrated nor disliked the fact that she came back. They just gave her a normal welcome. They hadn't changed. She, however, had. In the past, I used to study after waking up at 5, but now I'm so used to the easy college life that my circadian rhythm was completely off. I even forgot my MD player, and I couldn't borrow from anyone here since no one had one. Man, did I think that the rural life was uncomfortable. No convenience stores nearby either, and since everyone else is so frugal, they didn't even like drinking with me. I expected something different, to be honest. This is where I belong, and all that. Yeah, no. This place is half abandoned. Why'd I ever expect something like that? I realized that this isn't a place for me either. I slept and woke up on May 10th, yesterday morning. That was the point I looked back to at first. So it was, she said May 10th, and I started looping on the 11th, basically arriving at Yasumizu. Oh wait, crap! I missed. Let me go back to the log. She woke up May 10th. That was the point I looked back. Okay. I asked and found out something more. The point at which she looped back to had changed twice so far. The first time was the morning of May 10th. This return point stayed consistent for 57 times. Of course, it was just a normal day for me the first time I spent this. It was just a normal day for me the first time. I spent 2 days doing nothing, and then the mists came. I was hanged on the first day. They said something about me bringing corruption from the outside. Horrible, right? I can still remember the first time my breathing stopped. Then I looped back, and at first I thought it was just all a long nightmare. But then the mists came again. I looped back many times, and no matter what I said or did, I couldn't make it past the 4th day. I was really sad about it. I thought it showed just how worthless I was to them. Yeah, sorry. I know, it's not that simple. But by my 57th death, I just figured that's how it was. Not like it was a big deal to them. I was a wolf after all. The wolves back then were Chimi and Tei Yamawaki-san. With Chimi being easy to suspect and Tei-san not handling herself well, they just couldn't win the feast. Still, they successfully brutalized a few people before both of them got hanged. In the end, Chimi took the initiative and committed murders with her own 2 hands. It hadn't taken long for her to try and just kill everyone while breaking the rules. Her trial and error became a matter of just who would I kill and how. After that, there was a change. Miko-chan wandered in. It happened a day after the first restart point. It was already 2 a.m. now, so that would be the morning of yesterday, May 11th. The boring, meaningless day suddenly became a big deal. The reason for that was the lost girl who wandered in from upstream Saranaga. Takumi-san had told me that it wasn't uncommon for Saranaga to bring corpses, but this was the first time it brought a living human. Not just any human, a lost girl of unknown origins. According to Chimi, it was if there was some trouble in Yasumizu, they couldn't just call someone to inform them about it. Instead, there was an unspoken agreement that they would just bring it up while chatting with the driver of the truck that brought food and supplies here once a week. They'd mentioned a lost girl, and since the driver was in touch with the Haikuchis, the village heads would now know about it, too. If something was done about a problem they were told about, that was great. But if it wasn't, it meant that Kamo Fujiyoshi didn't plan to get involved. They had tried to get help by phone once, but that got the truck driver to just not bring supplies for a week, which is pretty messed up. The next supply run would be Thursday, sometime away, so they didn't know what to do with the girl. Tei-san screeched about chasing her out, but in the end, Rikako-san agreed to take her in. The problem was solved. For anyone but Chimi, anyway. I mean, she just appeared out of nowhere on the 58th time. I wonder what that was all about. It was just a change. It was a change just big enough to make me wonder if there was hope in this nightmare. The feast soon started, and the guardian assignments changed a lot. Takumi Nichan was a snake, and revealed it on the first day. You probably know this timeline. Oh. So basically, the timeline where I was alive but didn't participate was similar to the one where I just wasn't there at all. Still, she was human in the new timeline, and that change gave her hope, so she started experimenting again. It didn't take long for her to despair again. Takumi Nichan died early, and I either got hanged or killed by wolves early. One time, Kiyori-san went crazy and poisoned the food. The ones who died happened to be the wolves, and we won. I left Yasumizu then, but the late-night bus got engulfed in mist, and I don't know what happened, but it probably crashed, and I got sent back. The return point was now Sunday morning. The moment Miko-chan wanders in had a new routine. I still didn't see a way out. The morning of May 11th. It was a restarting point that she went back to more often than the other. Overcome by despair, she started trying to challenge the feast's rules. She tried escaping the mist, surviving the corruption after killing more than one in a day, etc. After dozens of tries, she concluded that there was no way to escape these laws. By that point, she killed each of the locals dozens of times. Whenever I saw their faces, I began thinking of their corpses and dying screams from this time or that time. These memories began just popping up in my mind. It wasn't like it hurt or anything. I'd actually gotten too okay with it. I actually began to think that they might have been the true reality. That everyone here had already died and became Yomibito. That's a story I heard as a wolf that was right. That's when I just started doing whatever and seeing what stuck. I even tried killing everyone before the feast began, even though I knew there was no way it could lead me to victory. And well, it didn't. No matter how hard I tried, I was either hanged, killed, or got caught in a mist and died. At that point, I was already tired of dying. It hurt, of course, but more than that, it just became boring. That's a damn grim way to look at it. Like, of course, like, yeah, death sucks. I mean, I'd imagine so. But yeah, but to say that it became boring, like, jeez. Isn't there a show out there right now? It's kind of the same thing where a guy just can't die, and of course there's a couple shows like it. Anyway, the only way to beat the boredom was to find new ways to kill people. The many impossible deaths happening on repeat had warped her heart and mind. So, yeah. I'm a real murderer now. That wasn't a thing to say with such a smile. Haruwaki-san, don't become... Yeah, like me? Is that what you're trying to say? I finally realized what that meant. Yep. Don't become like me. That's what you wanted to say, right? Yeah. It was a well-placed warning indeed. Unfortunately, back then, I not only missed it, but went on to become the absolute worst murderer I could think of. Your arrival was the third change since Miko-chan came. The starting point moved about 12 hours, too. The night of May 11th, the day before the feast, as well as the day I got lost on my bike ride and Chimi went out to prepare to kill. That was the newest starting point, and the one she and I actually shared. At first, I didn't expect much. You were just a funny guy who'd probably die like Mamiya-san or Hashimoto-san. But after you came, for some reason, more and more changes started happening. Mamiya-san survived for once, and I became a wolf again. And, What? Nothing. Anyway, then Hashimoto-san survived, and the roles changed again. I understood everything once I saw Haru-chan go to the construction site. Oh yeah. Since the wolves did their jobs when everything was sheltering, anyone who stayed outside and watched would quickly know who they were. You were a human until then, but when you became a wolf, I was worried that you'd go insane like I did. That's why I said that. I didn't really want to remember that. Once I become a wolf, I intended not to be bound by Yasumizu's rules, but in the end, I become an utter madman. And to make it worse, I ended up dancing on the palm of God's hand. Chimi's words might have become a subconscious break for the madness racing within me. That was why her face came to mind whenever I was partaking in something really messed up. Anyway, this reminded me of another mystery. Wait, how'd you go back outside? How'd you go outside back then? Oh, I just stood on the second floor on the dorm and shot any dogs going up. Wait, what? You can beat the night just like that? A gun is all you need? No, it just buys you some time. Eventually, the real deal comes. Real deal? The thing with the wolf head and the human body. That thing. So, okay, so that is the corruption, but it's not really the wolf. That's because we're the wolves. But that's like the big corruption. That has to be a human wearing clothes like the ones given to the wolves. That werewolf? Man-wolf works for Shinai-san, a servant of Okami-sama. You were a wolf, so you saw the figures in the Hanging Pines graveyard, right? That was Shinai-san, and those who met out his punishments are werewolves. And there are lots of them. Shinai was Okami. Great Lord Shinai and Okami-sama were the same thing. Mamiya-san said that as well. 3 creatures who came to you in a dream. Besides them, there were lots of monsters who carried out their will. God had implied that the dogs, the bringers of corruption, were the servants of the badger, Mujina-sama, whatever. Using those werewolves as underlings might have been the power of Great Lord Shinai as Okami-sama. So, even if you get rid of the bringers of corruption, you'll always die when faced with that thing? Chimi nodded. It didn't look like I could go anywhere from here, so I would just leave it at that. Back to what we were talking about. Why did you decide to wait for us outside? I thought I'd just end it. Huh? I was all alone in the feast. But there was this person who helped me out a lot. Me? Honestly, you just made it a bigger mess. Hell, I died a lot of times thanks to you. Sorry. Oh, don't worry. I killed you tons of times too. Really? Oh, I guess that we're even. You're quick to bounce back, aren't you? You weren't that upset, were you? I'd only care about it if you did. Anyway, who's the person? Rikako-san. Rikako Uematsu. She helped you? She's a Fujiyoshi person to the core. But I'm sure she's the best person here. She's rapidly superstitious and super conservative, but also refined and devoted. And she treats outsiders, as well as outcasts, like me, like equals. She isn't disgusted by us. The bedroom woman servant who took in anything, huh? If Fujiyoshi had a good old X about it, it's probably her. She's like a huge pile of all things good about the past. You fell for her too, didn't you? No, not really. Liar. Well, I can see the appeal, though. Anyway, she's an anomaly here in Fujiyoshi. Even in Kamo Fujiyoshi? Yeah. The Uematsu are in a decline and, well, it's a family with circumstances and everyone knows it. Oh. She's pretty, but also too weird for most to deal with. And the Sato blockhead is probably her only fan. She probably only even gives him the time of day, though. She barely gives him time of day. Excuse me. Where the hell did that hiccup come from? Chimi grinned cruelly. She was pretty hard on him, huh? I see. So, why are you here indebted to her? Why are you indebted to her? Well, for many things. She defended me during the feast, became my shield when someone went wild and tried to kill me, and took in the corruption, among other things. What do you mean? Do you remember how, in this timeline, the local old man and Mochi both died at the same time? And how she becomes a Yomibito the next day? Yeah, I do. You know something about it? The old man killed Mochi. I killed the old man. Really? Oh. Huh? Wait, I'm not surprised that you killed him, but the old wolf guy killed Mochi? That pisses me off. I was pretty surprised too. When we split up and searched for them, I found Mochi already dead. The old man laughed and attacked me, so I reflexively, Yeah, he needs time, he needs the things. So he was planning on getting away if he lost a vote, even if it meant killing someone. Yeah, Kanzo-ji-chan probably suspects that too, so in timelines where he's alive, he just hangs him by force. But that's weird. Killing more than one per day or trying to run away means death. Yeah, I know that better than anyone. How did he plan to avoid dying? Was he just not thinking about it? I think he's just too senile to think that far ahead. Is that possible? Or, allow me to speculate here, what if he's doing the same looping as ourselves? But the thing is, he's been doing it for so damn long, he's basically insane. Maybe. Honestly, I couldn't help but feel like he'd chosen to kill out of malice. I really had to find a way to get some information out of him. Wait, more importantly, how did you survive without splooshing the old wolf guy? I told you, Rikako-san took in the corruption for me. Huh? Wait, you mean she passed on the feast penalty to herself? Yeah. After splooshing the old man, I was like, oh man, did I mess up? Guess this is it this time. That's when Rikako-san came out of the mist. She was surprised, but then said, you will not die. I will take in your sin and corruption. You sound just like her. I know, right? Should we really talk about this so casually? The sullen mood had vanished, and now we were just talking about this stuff over a few beers. I think it's fine. We're not murderers yet. Let the past loops get to you, and you'll go nuts in no time. This was bothering me so much, and you took care of it like it was nothing. Oh well, I guess I'll take it easy. Anyway, Rikako-san protected me, so I went back to change my clothes. We talked then, remember? Oh, who's there? And Haruaki-san. Oh, you again. What a twist. This is me. Sorry, you should stay there right now. This might be really bad. Wait, hold on. Open up. Oh, yeah. You were changing out your bloody clothing back then. Yep. I like that get up, so I have a spare. Now that she mentioned it, I did feel like she'd say that. Anyway, you went against the 1 per day rule. Yeah. From my experience, you always suffered a corruption the night after breaking it. That timeline was almost the only exemption. And since Rikako-san had taken it in, like she said, the corruption went to her, huh? But wasn't she supposed to be torn apart? That's Yomi's corruption. Yomi's corruption? The strongest, worst corruption? Touching it makes you a Yomibito. So Chimi was not acting afraid of something. Okay, I get why you feel indebted to Rikako-san, why you wanted to give up on the feast, and how you got here. Now, for a more serious question. You probably won't like this, but it's necessary to get to the heart of the matter. Can you help me out? Of course, if it's something you can't handle, you can just stop. Chimi lightly nodded. You're invested in something supernatural that the others here aren't. One of them is a corruption, and the other is God. Tell me about both. You remember everything even when you die. So, I don't wanna. You'll hate and be disgusted by me forever. I don't want that. You're the only one here who can understand me. It's fine. I didn't feel much about you being a murderer, right? But it's fine. You promise you won't hate me? I promise. After a few seconds of hesitation, she finally gathered her resolve. She then put her hand inside the collar and took something out. Yeah, okay, that freaking pendant. Like, I want to know what the hell that's about. A metallic trinket on a metal chain, showing 3 symbols. A whirl and a diamond. It was a sign of the Yomatsu Ukami. I remember the time I picked it up in Saranaga after I won against Chimi as a snake. So, it belonged to her, huh? This is... No, don't look. You know, she freaked out. I'm so sorry. That's corruption. Not even I can take it. Like, what the hell? It came back to me. Rikako-san had discovered something pendant like Chimi was wearing. After that, Chimi just went nuts and ran off into the mist. That meant that what I'd found in Saranaga on the other timeline had been dropped by her after she jumped off the cliff. And I finally realized another thing. Here, the talisman with the sign of Yomatsu Ukami, Yomi itself, was the worst of omens, and actually wearing it couldn't have been a good thing. It can only represent the worst, most fearful, and maddening of things. This is something I've been wearing since I was little. You know what this means, right? A whirl and a claw. The sign of the Yomatsu Ukami, the lord of the corrupted hunting grounds. Why do you have that? Because I'm corrupted. My old name? Okay. That makes more sense. This entire time, we're like, there has to be somebody that's connected to the Miguruma family. Bloop! My old name was Chimi Miguruma. Miguruma. The Tower Lookouts. The top of the 4 head families in Kamafujiyoshi. The snake. Chimi Miguruma was the daughter of the snake. She didn't have any siblings, so she was supposed to become the wife of the man who'd be adopted and become the head of the family. At least until she was 5. Chimi's eyes turned dry and empty. That day, I playfully opened the iron door to the basement of the 3rd lookout. I was told never to go there, and the door had that symbol on it. And... Oh, she's screaming. Uh-oh. But calm down, Chimi. Calm down. You saw dogs, didn't you? She came back to her senses and light returned to her eyes. I knew it. I could see part of the conspiracy. The dogs bit you, right? Yeah. As it became harder for her to speak, she pulled up her sleeves and showed me her wrists. They were old, but clearly visible scars on them. Anyone who takes in Yomi's corruption will eventually go mad and die. We Migurumas had that drilled into our heads since we were little. Why do the Miguruma have them? Saranaga isn't the only entrance to Yomi. It has its mouth open in many places. The Uematsu family used to protect us against it, but they couldn't do it anymore, so... What, the Miguruma took it upon themselves? Chimi nodded. A daughter who'd received Yomi's corruption wasn't suitable for the Miguruma. That's why, just like Mochi, I was disowned. Sorry. I've calmed down now. Don't force yourself. It's fine. I had my surname changed to that of a branch family, and that one was sent to Yasumizu. Again, just like Mochi. Huh. So they changed surnames because of disowning. Oribe was probably Kiori-san's maiden name, but yeah, I can see how they worked around this. So no one seemed to know that you were a Miguruma, though. The Miguruma are a very secretive family. They hide any births and deaths in the family for about 10 years. You can't shut out gossip, can you? The Miguruma can. The people who do the reports on everyone at the funeral home are Miguruma. I see. But why are they so secretive? I left when I was little, so I can't be sure. But they probably think that secrets have power. Secrets. Mysteries can mobilize people, huh? Intelligence management was extremely important when keeping a group in line. Especially for the Miguruma. We were doing something dangerous. This pendant is proof of the corruption. I'm corrupted, so I'm fated to become part of Yomi. But I was told that it would hold the corruption back and keep it under control until the time came. Yomatsu Ukami were scary Yomibito who I believe control other Yomibito, so I thought this would keep me, a corrupted Yomibito, from going wild. I was really scared of that happening. That was nothing more than her earnest beliefs. That was why I understood just how pure and profound her feelings were. She had come to know immense despair at an extremely young age. So you went to Yasumizu and then what? Well, I went nuts. I was young, but I knew that I was corrupted and sent to a corrupted place. Taba-chan was my primary victim. She was the one in charge of the dining hall, and I always refused the food. Oh, so that was why they were still so distant. I entered elementary school as a Sarazawa, and I was the only student from Yasumizu back then. It was pretty hard. I was bullied, and if I fought back, they'd team up and make me out to be the bad guy. It kind of worked out because the teacher knew what was going on. But then the teacher transferred to another school, and my situation got really bad, and then Aribe-san and family moved in. Then Yasukun, Haru-chan, and Yoshi-kun started going to school. I became the big sister character, so I had to do my best. And then, well, you know. You kicked the crap out of someone. I kicked the crap out of someone. Well, I got chewed out and punished pretty harshly, and might have made the situation even worse for Yasumizu. But all the bullying stopped, and so I'm proud of what I did. I see. So that was why the children here adored her, but she felt awkward around the adults. So, it was a conscious sense of duty that made you do it? I was mostly just pissed. I don't mind. It's cool. I was a pretty rough girl. But at the core of it all, there was the fear of the corruption, right? Deep down, you were scared by the thought you'd go insane eventually. Or just desperate. You know everything, don't you? Sorry. I didn't mean to seem like a know-it-all. It's fine. I'm glad I have someone who at least tries to understand me. Chimi giggled. She could laugh at it now, but probably only because she'd grown up and realized a few things. Did you look into it a lot when you left for college? Like, about the dogs and stuff? Well, yeah. Should you really still be afraid of them? I'm scared of God and its corruption. The science behind the disease doesn't change much. Yeah. Then let's talk about that. In one of the timelines I was in, I met God. Huh? I'm pretty sure I know what kind of thing God is. But I feel like it's a bit different from the image of God you gave me. Chimi, like, can you see God? Like, as in visually? Mm-hmm. You think it's insane, right? Well, the looping and God itself are already pretty insane, to be honest. I'm ready to accept anything at this point. How flexible. Are you an octopus? Why did everyone like comparing me to weird stuff so much? Yeah, I can see it. Is it different than the 3 that you saw when you got the blessing of the wolf? God is on everyone. Even little girls like Miko? It's not really clear on her. It seems big, though. Whatever it is. I was told that there are 3 gods in Yasumizu. Huh? Wait, who told you that? That's a secret. The only Yasumizu gods I know of are Shinai-sama and God. Shinai-san is a god, no? Well, Shinai-san is a god, but not the god I have in mind. The god in Haru-chan is the one you're thinking of, right? Yeah. I think I get it. Really? Tell me more. Not right now. Hey, don't be like that! No. At this point, I was now able to split up and think about the problems I was involved with right now individually. One problem was the prevention of the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Another problem was the prevention of the giant monster's resurrection. And the third problem was the ending of the loop. They were all related, but they'd all need different solutions. And to fix the first one, the feast, I'd have to use the looping to do something about God. Specifically, the God that had Chimi, as well as everyone else in Yasumizu, completely imprisoned. Weak, powerless God my ass. This one was a pain to deal with because they were powerless. I had to be careful about how to deal with it, as well as Chimi, God's prisoner. I'll keep it a secret for a while longer. Why? Because I know that secrets have power. We continue exchanging info. I couldn't keep the sheep hidden, so I started with that. When I loop back, I always see a sheep, and that's probably the reason why I keep my memories. What about you? I don't remember anything like that. That meant the reason she kept her memories was different from mine. Also, her memory retention was less consistent than mine. Some memories actually felt like a dream for her, and often lacked clarity. She said that, for all she knew, she might have looped a lot more times than she realized. I was curious why she kept her memories, but I set it aside for now. Anyway, according to the sheep, the loops were happening because of the dream. I thought over, in my own way, than the things I quickly shared with me. Something had absorbed Fujiyoshi and his general area into a dream. It was absurd, but I had to accept it. An area of some square kilometers had to be detached from the real world, meaning that this was like a virtual reality. This space could be restarted, and it probably had a different flow of time. I spent a lot of loops here, but I bet not even a second had passed in reality. This dream could happen over and over without wasting any time. That gave the mastermind behind it countless chances to create the ending they wanted, and once that happened, the dream would stop being a dream. It would become prophetic, basically, or rather stop being a reset as just a dream and turn everything that happened into reality. That meant that I could be going about my business, still thinking that I could retry it all, when the master of the dream could just yank the rug out from under me and be like, nope. This was as if reality had an intrusive editor who told the author to turn anything he didn't like into a dream. Man, was that messed up. According to the sheep and Chimi's info, the range of the dreams had changed. At first the dream just looped around, but when the outsider came in, it started going all weird and shit. You made a huge mess of things, and right there's the result. Changed because of me. There was a change, and Miko-chan wandered in. And then there was us being the third change. I had no idea how many loops the sheep had been through since starting, but it did mention that things didn't change much at the start. That meant the result was the same no matter how much the dream repeated, far from the ending the dream's architect desired. That was when they brought in the first outsider, probably Chimi. The method was most likely moving the dream start sometime further. When Chimi had returned to Fujiyoshi, she had already entered the dream, unwittingly becoming trapped in the loop. Because of the start of the loop, the starting point, was pushed a bit later, Chimi became a character in the dream. Chimi was the first one who had memories of the previous loops, and with her joining, the dream began to change. However, those changes didn't satisfy the mastermind, especially with Chimi not really doing anything constructive. Thus, they moved the start a bit later again, this time taking in Miko, who, from what it seemed, didn't have memories of the previous loops. It wasn't hard to guess that nothing was changed by her joining. The third one to enter was me. And I, unaware of the mastermind's plot, tried out various things and ended up fulfilling their wishes. The sheep said the mastermind still didn't know about its involvement. However, they must have known that Chimi and I often did unexpected things. Though, I wasn't sure if they were aware that we had our memories. They either didn't know about it, or just didn't know the cause. So, I guess we shouldn't reveal that we remember stuff, huh? Yeah. Especially around the people of Yasumizu. Huh? Wait, what? Well, you're saying that one of them is the mastermind? I mean, that's likely. At the very least, I'm pretty sure the Miguruma have nothing to do with the looping. Why? Because their goal is different than Great Lord Shinai's. But who could it be? Who's hiding another god? Is it possible for a person to hide their god from your sight? I can't really see the gods of the people I don't know. I see. Basically, her ability was like an eye for reading people. Even though you couldn't know for sure based on just faces, some people could intuitively figure out certain things about others by just finding out more about them. In her case, such info was just more visual. It might have been a kind of synthesia. I can't never say that word correctly. There were people in the world who would perceive numbers as colors. With that in mind, I shouldn't have expected her supernatural power to be the solution to the supernatural problem. Instead, I should rely on her ability to retain memories. What do we do now? I'd like to see more endings so I can help set some conditions. The only outcomes I know are the ones where wolves achieve a flawless victory, the ones where humans achieve a normal victory, and the one where wolves achieve a Pyrrhic victory? Whatever. The Pyrrhic victory ended up summoning the monster, so that's no good. And I don't know the exact cause of the summoning. Was it related to the feast? Or did I step on some other landmine? I have no idea. That's why I think we have to try challenging the feast a whole bunch more times. Seriously? Yeah. What about running off into the forest and having a good time there? We'll die, right? Well, there might be a way out somewhere. Oh, that's true. Then let's search for one. Honestly, I didn't think it would get us any closer to the truth. But I didn't put much effort into protesting either. She'd been in so many feasts that it became traumatic for her. She wanted to avoid going through it again. She didn't want to be aware of what kind of murderer she was becoming. Alright. I would do this with her until she was satisfied. Even if this was a challenge without a real end, it was worth it as long as she could find peace. We tried using our memories to quickly fix the bike and leave. We tried going after the Saranaga before the mist came. We waited until the mist came and tried to leave through the forest in full hiking gear I got from a convenience store. No idea why they were selling that. In the end, we either were engulfed in mist and died before even realizing it, or engulfed in mist and died without getting anywhere. In the latter cases, Chimi either died by breaking apart again, or we were caught by those monsters. After trying it enough times, we both became used to it. Oh, I'm crumbling again, she'd say. But let's stop, I reply as we aimed our guns at each other and killed one another. Just so damn nonchalant about it, it's weird. Taking advantage of shortcuts like that, we came back over and over and tried again. Nothing seemed to work, so we tried spending a night outside after the mist came. We got rid of the dogs of water and guns. I quickly found out this was a mistake, since Chimi couldn't keep her presence of mind. Unable to bear the tension and fear, she would mumble something about God and either run off or kill herself. Then, no matter what happened afterward, I ended up getting killed by the monster-looking thing. Whether the monster was actually real or not, it wasn't a problem anymore. I'd already known that any rule breakers would be punished. The problem here was that Chimi still wanted to continue these pointless loops. Let's go there this time. Let's hide here this time. I patiently played along. Being certain that there was no point in this, I played along with her attempts to escape about 50 times. We continued to do this for a while before I told her to let me try something, and somewhat forcefully took the lead. What I wanted to try was a feast victory with minimal casualties, and how many days could be passed without murder. For that, we had to figure out what sort of rules govern the Guardian assignments. I actually had an idea of how it worked. The first time, the time I was a snake, the time I was a wolf, and the time Chimi had first become a wolf. After all, over them all, I noticed that there were many trends, such as Chimi's tendency to become a wolf, or Mochi's tendency to be a monkey. To find out the nature of these trends, I wrote down the Guardian distributions I knew on a table. First, I tried putting the names in order, then writing down their Guardians, but didn't find any patterns there. Then I had an idea of try basing it on their dwelling locations, and bingo. The monkey was obviously dependent on where the people lived, and they didn't change much across loops. It was clear that Takumi-san intended to get the snake, and I got it instead of him that time because our houses were close together. The same could be said about Kiyori-san and Yoshisuke-kun getting the crow. Basically, the Guardians were given out to the whole houses rather than people. I was familiar of a way of allocating data that changed slightly, but not by a lot. I knew a means to bring about such results. A ghost leg lottery. It wasn't a completely random method. Even if you used tons of lines, the results wouldn't split up properly without intent. And even if there are new possible options, the results wouldn't change without removing or adding new lines. Even if you added 2 or 3 new options to a ghost leg lottery, you would add them to the right and add a few branches, and that would leave the left side mostly unaffected. 2 or 3 lines would just shift the result a bit to the side, but not much farther than that. That had to be it, right? As in, someone held a ghost leg lottery to decide who got which guardian. That theory in mind, I sought out a particular person. Hey, Mochi.
Whoa! How do you know my nickname?
Ignore that and just let's look at this. It's a popular puzzle. Can you write down a ghost leg lottery with these results? I want you to make it so that removing this line does this, and adding a line here does this.
What? I have no idea how to do that.
Just remember, just whatever feels right to you.
Oh. Like this?
He actually met the conditions perfectly. How like him. Like hell, a puzzle like this could be popular. His talent for getting the answer right without proof actually scared me. It was a talent that could turn society on its head, but that wasn't important at the moment. To see whether the ghost leg lottery was unusable, I attacked the Nasato mansion once. Specifically, I broke the windows the day before the mists came, and he was so scared that he just returned to Kamafujiyoshi the next morning. My theory was that the lottery began with the settlement's upper region. That was why adding new people to the empty houses affected the guardian assignments, while Kiyonosuke continued to be human. Thus, without him, the roles would have to change drastically. With those conditions, I tried a case in which Mamiya-san and Hashimoto-san both died, while I took the Gensan's dude's place. I ended up being the snake, while Chimi was the badger. The wolves ended up being Yoshisugu-kun and Mochi. The ghost leg lottery was completely accurate. I also tried looking into how the distribution worked before Miko came, and apparently there was a human missing in the middle. That confirmed that the guardians weren't handed out by a supernatural force, but through this ghost leg lottery. Using this, I could also create lots of patterns. By changing my residence, I can get whatever guardian I wanted. A good one would allow me to get through it without any problem. At that moment, I excitedly told Chimi that the feast was as good as ours. I'd never forget the dead eyes which she looked at me with.
So, when will it end?
I finally realized I had made a huge oversight. Chimi had passed her limit long ago, and I'd forgotten that my sense for such things was a bit different than a normal person's. I wanted to clear the feast of a minimal number of deaths and find out how many days could go by without a murder. It required the agreement of all the participants. It wasn't something I could do by myself, and I needed Chi and me to try with me. I didn't mind looping about 100 times more. She, however, didn't want to loop ever again. She tried weird things because she wanted to try a method that could let her win quickly and easily, even if it was absurd. In her eyes, my plan to loop hundreds upon hundreds of times in a case of trial and error was simply unacceptable. I was killed. She wanted to kill me, and so she shot me right up front.
Haruwaki-san, what if the winning move is to kill you 100 times?
I realized I'd never considered what a threat Chimi with memories could be. I was killed over and over again. Over and over. Sometimes she killed me right upon seeing me in the darkness of Saranaga or the dining hall. Oh jeez,
This is so damn fun! Your expression is so new to me! I love it!
Sometimes she acted out events like I remembered them, then grinned and killed me when I was completely defenseless.
Did you forget? Too bad. Chimi-chan Dark Edition is still alive.
Apparently, she didn't remember things until I provoked it somehow. That must have been because the number of loops she spent alone was way lower than the number of loops since we started sharing memories. Her loop count was probably way over 100. She was a whole lot more damaged than I first thought. Oh. But after she killed me 63 times, it finally got to me. I've been attacked in Saranaga about 20 times now. Half of those times, she just blasted me with both shotguns at the same time, just like this time. Otherwise, she used traps or feints to corner me, then finished me off. So, she had no idea how to handle a situation in which I survived her first shotgun blasts. No! Why? No? No what? How do you think I feel about getting killed over and over? Honestly, not even I expected to find a bulletproof vest in that convenience store. It didn't protect me completely, though. It just kept my torso from being blown to pieces. My ribcage was shattered, and the internal injuries were undoubtedly fatal. Still, I had enough life in me to catch her off guard and fight back. Chimi-chan, how do you want to die? Oh, man. This was so satisfying. What'll I do next time, though? What would she do to me after this? Would this just continue forever? This might have been an actual dead end. Man, you're such a damn pain in the ass. End of the line for me this time. Sorry. She could still breathe? My consciousness faded about the same moment as I delivered a final attack. The next loop came. I entered Yasumizu through Saranaga and encountered Chimi, just like always. This time was different, though. She didn't have any weapons. She didn't attack me or run. She just vacantly looked at nothing in particular. Nice to meet you, Shirami Sarazawa-san. I sat down next to her. Nice to meet you, Haruaki Fusashi-san. What a mechanical response. Saying each other's names on our first encounter had become common practice since we shared memories of the loops. However, neither of us said anything more this time. It was awkward. It felt like we just had a fight. Well, not like we hadn't. What is it? Are you mad? I don't have a reason to be. Yeah, but you are mad. The pain in the ass hurt a bit to hear. Hey, don't get teary on me now, and I fought back only once. There was no love in the way that you killed me. Now that's a quote. Well, I didn't mean for there to be any love in it. I don't know how I'd feel if you told me that your kills did. I know what you mean. I got so carried away. Killing you helped me forget the feeling of isolation. I can kill you countless times and do whatever to you, so I thought you'd forgive me always. And that's just awful. Sorry. The last loop, I realized that I really was being a pain in the ass to you, and you only saw this whole thing in terms of your own goal. What? It wasn't our goal to you. I'm just a side character to you. And all that matters to you is whether I'm useful or not. I only said that because I was a bit pissed, that's all. That's a lie. You lie so much. I finally realized. You scare me. Even more than God. Being hurt, killed, or simply glared at by you scares me more than anything. That's how much I love you. You're scary because I love you. And I love you because you're scary. I want to kill you because I love you, and I love you so much, and I want to kill you. I know that's weird, and that's why I realized I really do love you. But it's a feeling not mutual at all. That wouldn't have changed even if I wasn't killing you, right? Stop with the You always say that before telling a lie. You're not gonna eat? I have a bunch of allergies. What did you mean by I already tried it? It's just something random I thought up in the spot. I'm Haruaki Fusashi, a graduate student in Tokyo College. Hey, Who are you really? A student? A doctor? A detective? Or just a murderer? I don't know anything anymore. I love you. I want to kill you. You scare me. I want to be closer to you. I want to run away from you. Become one with you. I want everything you are, but I can tell you don't want that. But I don't know what'll happen after that. I figured that maybe just killing you over and over would keep me happy, even if it scared me. I always thought this was hell. But maybe it's actually heaven? I pushed her into the river. What are you doing? Am I drowning her? What are you doing? Oh. Kissing you. I mean the pushing. Well, I just thought, what the hell is this girl who killed me dozens of times saying, and I figured I had to get back at you somehow. Okay. Repeat after me. I won't do what people don't want me to do. I won't do what people don't want me to do. Just so you know, I don't like being killed over and over, so find a better way to express your love. I'm sorry. Now, I'll look back at all that as an expression of love, and I don't hate you. I like how insane you are. Really? I mean, no, I won't let you fool me. If that's true, then why you been calling me and just cheating me after we started sharing memories? Well, what, you noticed? I did. Because liking someone and dating them are two different things. I do like you, but I'd say our compatibility is the worst. Or maybe too good. If we're together for long, we'll just become more and more insane, even after we got out of here. Well, there are societies where you can get by being a bit weird, but I think that we both should look for someone more normal. And I kind of got close to someone else. Rikako-san? Yeah. And Haru-chan. When did that happen? After you killed yourself? Oh well. Basically, you want to choose someone other than me. Even though neither of them know about you now? That's not it. It's just that I opened up providing them really awful deaths. After that, I've been left with feelings of guilt and a desire to at least make them happy next time around. And it'd be insincere to choose you while I still feel that way, right? About as insincere as pushing me down and kissing me. That kiss was payback for all the murders. Then... okay, fine. But really, my lips are enough for that? The taste was great. Oh, you're lying again? I remember something. This is about the quiz you gave me. You being a thirsty perv is a bad answer, you innocent little girl. You dummy! I'll kill you! I won't kill you! Date me already! Be my darling! And become my first! This is it. This is exactly what I wanted. I love this mix of happiness and embarrassment. It sustains me. Then... no. If I do that, you'll find happiness in the looping hell and stop wanting to leave it. I don't mind that. Like hell. That's not how you were at the start, right? The looping warps people. Even I was no exception a couple of times. Even if you can just tough it out, dying hurts, and it's something no one wants. Imagine this goes on forever. We keep dying over and over and over. Maybe even at each other's hands. I'm not confident I can keep liking you in that scenario. And you can't deny that either, now can you? As long as the loop continues, we won't expire due to old age and just pile memory upon memory as we go. Imagine we end up hating each other. This will become a true hell. I don't want that. I really don't. What a crybaby. Shut up, psychopath. A murderer just called me a psychopath. Anyway, I try to stay honest with you from now on. I can't date you while counting on an escape that's not yet in sight. Thus, I said it. Is this what it means to be heartbroken? Yeah.
No, huh?
Nope.
Oh. Sorry for killing you so many times.
I got my payback. Sorry for killing you last time. It was just one time, but it was really cruel.
I'm so scared.
Sorry.
Sorry I've been a pain in the ass.
Sorry for not being more considerate.
I won't do that again.
I do enjoy the attention you give me, though.
Really?
Really. You should really think about whether you want to kill or date me.
You're right. I had so many dreams of murder that I forgot what's what. I want to forget everything.
Let's go to the hanging pile and jump into Saranaga. Head first. Like this.
Why?
Maybe the head trauma will help us forget what we don't want to remember.
I like that. It's like a couple suicide.
We really might have been insane. Or maybe that could be said about everyone who's in love.
You can't see the bottom from here.
Yeah.
Can we really die if we fall?
I'm pretty sure we will.
What if we fall on a flat part of the cliff, survive, and suffer?
You got any other ideas, Chimi-san?
Well, maybe we'll fall in the same spot if we hug each other?
You hopeless romantic. Huh?
What's wrong?
At this inappropriate moment, I just realized something. I just had a thought that I should be the one at the bottom and take the brunt of the impact.
Wow, you're gonna protect me? But then I won't hit my head and forget, right?
That's not what I mean.
It's not?
I just figured, since I can loop back if I die.
That's not right. I mean, I'm the one who's gonna loop back.
Exactly. I've been going through this while ignoring one of the main issues here. From my perspective, I obviously don't remember what happens after I die, and I always go back to the start after just a moment. But now that I think about it, the same is true for you, right? Because we don't have consciousness when we're dead.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, well, you told me about things that happened after I died, so I was like, huh?
Exactly. We talked about loops in which either of us weren't present, but we still don't know the condition that actually causes the loop to reset. You know, I thought that everything after my death was just wouldn't happen.
Well, same here, but we proved that's not how it works.
Then what does this world loop back? When does it loop back?
Well, it has to be some sort of day, like our starting point, right? What's as long as you survived?
The feast back that ended in 4 days, so it'd probably be 10 days or 2 weeks. Whoa, wait, hold on. I feel like I survived way longer than that.
My longest is a week. But now that I think about it, it could happen a while after we die, like a year.
Yeah. No matter how much time passes after we die, we won't be able to perceive it.
Yep. For all we know, the world could be looping after billions of years, which, well, with the end of the universe.
That's not impossible, but I don't think this is quite that ridiculous. We know that someone is behind all this, and that they're creating a loop to bring back the monster. That's why it's best to believe the loop happens once they fail to do that.
That's true.
That means that if they fail, they would loop back even if we were alive. You ever had that happen? Like you didn't even know if you were dead or not, but for some reason you loop back?
I did. When Kyoto-san went out of control and happened to survive, I left by bus and...
Same here. It happened when I tried to move the Fujiyoshi and the officer chased me out.
Hell, the same happened when we tried to escape by bike recently.
I forgot about that too.
How mean.
Of course, it could be that we just crashed in a mist, but the memories aren't clear. And it's weird that we don't remember just this one thing. That must be another trigger. There must be another trigger to activate the loop.
This is a dream, right? Whose is it?
The sheep had told me that the opponent was a dream wielder. The culprit tries to make their plot come to fruition in a dream.
And if they fail or die, they restart the dream?
That's a clue.
Can we get out? It won't be that easy, huh?
I fell silent. After looking at the void before me, what do you want to do? Keep trying?
Yeah. But I do want to try falling here at least once.
You masochist.
The memories of all the murders I committed are heavy, and I don't want to keep repeating this. Even if I can't forget it all, I just need a bit of a change of pace.
Crushing your skull for a change of pace, huh? What if you lose some important memories?
I'm sure it'll be fine. The Haruwaki-san and Chimi I know can find out things like your sudden realization just fine.
What if we forget that we know each other?
That'd be good, actually. It'd be a chance for me to make a fresh start with you. This little masochist is pretty hung up on the idea of taking a dive in your embrace here. This might be my last chance for that.
After all, I rejected her. Having a taste of the sentimentality behind a couple's suicide and actually surviving is pretty insincere, but pretty juicy, huh? Oh crap, that was Chimi. I really like how your mind works in these situations.
Really? You like it?
I do.
Do you love it from the bottom of your heart?
Right before I was about to talk, my mouth was closed shut. Her lips cut my words short. Not bad.
Get a grip, Haruwaki-san. If we're gonna forget this, at least spoil me a bit.
There's no guarantee we forget it.
Oh well.
I love you, Chimi. I love you too much.
Man, that sounds like a lie.
Sorry, I seem like a swindler.
You really do. But I love you too, Haruwaki-san.
Then...
yeah.
And then they boned. The hope of starting anew. Forgetting all the nonsense, pain, hatred, and sadness. We instantly smiled at each other. And with shared hope, we jumped off the cliff. Wow. That took a lot. I thought, like, I don't know why I thought going back to these, like, you know, other paths and clearing them up a little bit was going to take, like, 20, 30 minutes. Holy crap, this took, like, an hour and 20. Because I really just did not want to stop. This was weird. Either way, we got the Mind Games trophy for getting the third key, Distant Light. So, damn. Bad ending number 3. Well, let's watch the hint corner. Although now we have keys 3 and 20, so we can go back to 3 paths right now. I'm not sure. I'll see which one they want, but we'll see. Oh, you did it, Chief. You obtained key 3, one of the final keys. Let's move on to the summary and hint. A bunch happens in Chimi-chan's mind. Here at the Sega surrounding Chimi Sarazawa, we're cleared up for the most part. Well, Haruwaki Fusashi went through a rather harrowing experience, but he's gaining allies, so all good, I guess. By the way, key 3 unlocks. Yep, the trap, and there's a trap, and there's number 20. There's also something else that I think it might have been all set. Maybe. One of them just needed number 20, so I think I might go to that first. You'll have to jump far ahead, but next up is making peace with a stubborn one. Look forward to it. Guess that's one of Kanzo, but I'll do that one later. Now hold on, are they gonna do this here with the sheep? Yeah. Guess it was just a dream, right? Do better next time. So that always shows up, and it's like, what? And it even says it in the back that one sheep, two sheep, but this is just a dream, just a dream. Man, I guess the hints were there for us, but wow. Okay, that was a very interesting thing right there with Chimi. Like, it does suck, like, I guess they won't ever get together, maybe, but damn. I feel terrible for her now. Just like me, Chimi also loops back in time whenever she dies, retaining her memories. Her heart has been wounded and twisted through her maddening cycles of death and rebirth, but she hasn't completely broken yet. She made me realize that the trigger for the loop isn't either of our deaths. In hindsight, there should be times I loop where my cause of death was vague. If I reconsider my conditions, I may yet catch a glimpse of the mastermind. So that's what's interesting, is like, it still moves on even if they die. So it's like, what is the other trigger? And we're hoping with this key, something will happen. So, like I said, we have a few places we can go to now. for example, the one that you're talking about is this one about the trap. I think it's under this one. Yeah, selecting the trap. This is when we're talking with Kanzo-san, so I don't know what the hell we're going to learn from him. So there's that. But there also was one where it didn't need... It just needed number 20. I think it's... Oh, well, we could also do this one. All set. This is like, I think before we actually... Is this work? No. We're already in the village at this point. I forget what the hell all set does. First job. Yeah, I gotta remember that one. Crap, what the hell? There was one more that just needed number 20, and for the life of me, I can't remember. Was it here? No, wait a minute. No, No. There was nothing left number 3. And this one needs Tears and Alcohol, Killer's Melancholies, Shared Secrets, Endless Challenge. Okay. And Last Promise. So that's what we got there. Where the hell is the other one? Just key 20. This is the last one we're going to do, I assume, before getting key number 1. Ah, crap. Where the hell is it? I apologize, guys. I'm just kind of wasting time here, but it's going to bother me because I thought it was around here somewhere. So that's 20 and 3. So maybe it's the one where we're talking with Mamiya-san. Here we are. How to pass the time. I may do this and then do the ones with the 3 and 20. So there's that. Whew. Yeah, but that was a lot that happened today, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really am intrigued. I really am. Like, I keep going back and forth. It's like, what the hell is this whole thing about the Dream Wielder, and how do we break this loop? Because I guess I keep forgetting too, you know? Like, I am really intrigued with the whole aspect of, like, the feast and the werewolves and all that. But we gotta remember, there's the bigger picture of this looping phenomenon, right? So that is what that's the whole point of the game. It's not the feast, it's not the werewolves, it's not the gods, it's the dream, or it's the looping. And I don't know. It's been quite an experience, and I'm sure there's still quite a bit to go. If the other paths take as long as this one did, then I'm assuming an episode each. So, cool. This is episode 34. So, yeah, this could go into the 40s, maybe. We'll see. Either way, I'm tired. So, as usual, thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you all next time for Let's Play Raging Loop. Love you all so much. Have a great day.